Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Um, I was like, going going through my own thing, right? And so going around here, I ended up running a few people and talking to them and finding out that there's, which I mean, this has been kind of going on everywhere, but there's numerous people that are, just barely making it and really not even making it at that because of, the way they're having to live, in a hotel, like myself and many others. Um, they really need help. They really need, a hand up so that they can, um, get a foothold, um, you know, in life instead of, I mean, there's kids, these people, they've got some kids and stuff like that. And, I don't want to say a whole lot of specifics, but it's, this is actually like a nice community here, you know, in this particular hotel I'm at. And there's numerous homeless people around here. They've got so many of them. And they don't have a shelter. Not in, what is the county here? Osceola County, Florida. This is, Kissimmee. Yeah. And, if people think that the government is doing, helping out, it's a lot of pick and choose, and they can't help everyone, and you've got to do things the way they tell you instead of, it's just tedious, stuff that doesn't make sense when they are already without transportation. They're already, you know what I'm saying? That everything that they're asking them to do is very, like, difficult. It's like they do this on purpose to make people suffer. I don't know if you can see the chain of suffering or not, but that doesn't make any sense, you know? That's like telling people you don't have a right to live because we see you as less than because you don't have this, you don't have that. But, if you really knew a lot of these people's stories, I wonder how many of them have an inheritance or something somewhere, something that was supposed to be theirs and it was taken away. Even if it was, some time ago, right? This is not how people should be treated. It's not how even animals should be treated. There are other places in the world that the animals are so well taken care of. I mean, how does the government go and, I mean, I agree they should, but that people that are abusing animals, something has to be done about it, right? But this is the same government that's abusing its own people. And it's like, and they're making it worse. And it's like they put it out there, to glorify that they're doing this. Can you see what's going on? It's like, it's very indicative of, a much larger scale concentration camp. How many of us are being fed poisons, toxins, these things, all these things that are not natural. Need to be paying attention to this because it's how they're able to harm us and keep us from, having, spiritual wisdom and knowledge, being connected. It's their way of, hurting and harming us, like our chakras, so that we're not where we would be, obviously, right? But man, there's people here that need help, and I realize this is everywhere. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with going places, seeing where the, issues are, where they need to be helped, and see at least where you're welcome. You know what I'm saying? I've been to other places, you know what I'm saying? Just, they make it clear you're not welcome because, you got to be like on drugs or, they're trying to force you into being a prostitute if you're, not able to pay, as they like to put it. But when I first came here to this hotel, I mean, I liked it here because the energy was just different. Okay. And this one's kept pretty, well, far as from other issues, at least from what I've seen when I've been here. But I mean, you can have some issues or something like in life, like everybody does. But for people to be, about a breath away of being homeless. There's people that have kids and people that don't. But do you think that's right? Is this where we just sit back and wait and let the government do something when they're not, and they're torturing people? I mean, there's nothing wrong with like traveling and going to different areas and seeing where people need help, and put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, out doing videos like this, but not to go and put them on camera or something like that. You understand what I'm saying? Not to, you see what I'm saying? Kind of like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Words escaping me on that one. But you know what I mean? Not so upfront and out for everyone to see exactly what you're doing, right? Yeah, these people need help, okay? I am one of them too, but just, finding out, I was finding out some things I didn't know before, and, I'm glad I know it. It's like, the question of, well, why am I really here? And when I heard that, I'm just like, oh my God, I just, I don't like, when it comes to kids and animals, those that are defenseless, or have been made defenseless, by others, by stealing from them, and then having, the government that's supposed to do this, this, and this, but never does. It just depends on what's, in it for them, what the agenda is, right? The problem is, the Illuminati. I'll just say it straight. I've got all kinds of videos about it, all the way to the top, okay? What people don't know. Yeah, go check them out. But kids, animals, those that are defenseless or have been made defenseless, disabled, that's not right. What kind of a country is that? You're supposed to take care of the ones that are weaker, not attack them and go after them. Is this the kind of leader that y'all want to have? Look at the leader of this nation. Okay? Really need to think about that. I mean, wars going on, all this chaos. And what is it they have on the dollar bill? Ordo ab chaos. Think about that. Y'all, this is sick and twisted. Are you able to see what is sick and twisted? How many people living in their cars? How many people, doing what they can to stay in hotels and get booted out on the street? This is a sick and twisted government. Tell me it isn't. Not only that, but if there's, homeless out there in the street, they send the law officials, the police, to go after them, to attack. That's torturing people. That's being Gestapo. No offense, but it's just true. I mean, treat others the way you want to be treated. That's called the golden rule. What is unconditional love? Is that unconditional love? We've got people here who just think that's sex. Well, that comes straight from the Illuminati, or sex cult. A sex death cult. I mean, you can be part of the Freemasons or whatever, and not know stuff and believe you're Christian, but you have to look at who really wrote the Bible. Well, King James, because y'all have the King James version. Let's just keep this kind of basic before you start tripping out. But his mother was Queen Mary of Scots, right? Mother Mary. Isn't that interesting? Okay. And then before him, the Geneva Bible was John Knox. Okay. So later on, we're talking about, that's Rasputin later on, and then Tsar Nicholas. Okay. I'm going to go further back, but y'all need to kind of understand your history to understand what's really going on, right? Who's really running things? Okay. I'm going to go even further back. Who's putting these people in front of you to run, their United States corporation? Okay? Well, I mean, who treats their people like this? Who treats their animals like this? Stray animals, stray cats. Oh, they go and put them in the pound and euthanize them. You're sick and twisted. What is thou shalt not kill? And then you have people sit there and talk about how it's okay to kill this and this because it's in a damn book. Are we using our brain processes? That should tell you something, though, right? What are serial killers known for? Harming animals. Okay? Generalized blood. Well, an animal running, that's adrenalized, or running and then come to where they're still, how do you know? The Bible contradicts itself. There's so much, really about it. But this is up to the people. We, the people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking people that ain't got nothing, okay? This shouldn't be like this. We should not have people that are going through this. Can you realize how bad it gets that they turn to drugs? This is about keeping people from getting to that point and being out on the street. And to help others to, hopefully have a way to get clean so they can have their own. You know what I mean? Shouldn't everyone have their own? We're going to let the government tell us what to do? Let's say a plane gets stranded in your town. Are you the kind of town that people would come there and help them, bring food, things that they need? We've got this all over. We have a government that's attacking them. Well, you can't do this, you can't do that. They're HOA, everybody. It's like that housing authority crap. That's Saturn. Rules, strict. I mean, it's, they keep pulling tighter and tighter and tighter. The correctional officers of the world aren't even aware that they're in prison too. It is a prison construct. The laws are too many, but it never goes after the ones that are doing the shit. I got people doing identity theft to me. I mean, like big time, in order to steal anything that, I've inherited in a will, a home, land, exactly what I need, right? If there's any money, they're out to siphon that off. These people have a sick sex death cult, and they siphon. Like they set up people with, what do they call that? But it's, honeypot or like romance something. I can't think of the word right now, y'all. But it's, it's a romance scam. Took me that long to remember that word. But see, that's what they do. You know what I mean? I've been poisoned since I was a little baby because I was taken as a baby. It's really bad. I have trouble eating. You know what I mean? So Yeah, it depends on what I can eat, stuff like that. But I mean, I'm healing, but it does take time, right? But it's hard to go through healing when always under stress. What do you think that's doing to, other families and other people that are already, you know, having issues, right? Why have we turned into people that are so bitter that we attack each other, attack other people? That's, bitter and hate, and that comes from somewhere. Where? It's coming from the government, the TV. Satan owns the airwaves, King James Bible, and every Freemason lodge. I mean, really think about this stuff. This shouldn't be happening. People starving. Yeah, we got it in, other places in the world too. But, this is the thing. Do you trust those places that you give money to? Look, start here in our communities, okay? This is awful. People can help, right? And if you want to help people, start doing, like traveling and going and seeing where people have need, because that seems to be a pretty damn good idea to me. No one's doing anything. Everyone's going around arguing about Democrat and Republican. What on earth for? That's two wings of the same bird. And the middle is supposed to be where the heart is. What happened to everyone's heart? I mean, there's something. This is not about, judging people. It's like, wake up. Do you see what you're doing to each other? If you're doing it to each other, you're doing it to yourself too. Everybody's going through it. You got people hoarding money and people that have nothing, and they're the ones that took it from them. Great systems they have. It hasn't helped me any. It hasn't helped my family any. People are human trafficked. I was human trafficked. I was told that these people were my mom and my dad, and they weren't. One's Uncle Creepy, who turns out to be the whole kingpin of the entire Illuminati. These people can poison people, kill my grandparents. I mean, they just murder people. And then, like, I was talking about the romance scam. They send someone in, to act like it's, your boyfriend. They especially want to marry you off. And they're basically, they're selling you, and you don't even know it. And they have whoever sent in to be with you, to sleep with you, and then they go and sleep with other people. But those other people are sleeping with other people until it gets all the way back to, guess where? To them people. That's how you had the whole, what was that called? Freak-offs going on. That's what they're doing. Okay, they have, what they call a muse, and they like to, some of them have names for it and stuff like that. That should tell you something. They're doing this to people. There are people that weighed more and are all of a sudden severely skinny. It's because they've been a part of siphoning, taking money. It's like how they've made so much money. And when you're around energies like that, it's, you know what I mean? You can end up wearing that aura, that energy. That's what they mean by skinwalkers. Okay, it's like absorbing others' energy until you get healed, get your chakras healed. People need to wake up and see what's going on. People are too wrapped up in the TV, and these other people are just being little puppet masters and screwing with everybody. What the hell? People arguing that this leader's better and this leader's better, but they're not better. Who's running the politicians? Epstein this and this, but this is the real Epstein. the real Manson that I call Uncle Creepy, who is Samael. You know, get it? Uncle Sam? Uncle Samael. You get it? Some heavy shit. You don't even know that your so-called leader is a CIA operative, okay, who happens to be my half-brother. I call him White Rapper Boy. Go look closely. Looks just like him. I mean, I've got a photo in the community post on the YouTube channel. Zoom all the way down to the bottom and go up till you spot it, because it's got him and hamster hairstyle piece, and it's like one kind of above the other, but when you click on it, you look at like the cheekbones, the nose, the bone structure. I mean, and I'm able to look at these people like in the past, because I mean that's Francis de Medici, okay, also Alexei Romanov, that's White Rapper Boy, and Custer, yeah, and Caligula Caesar. I mean, and then Tsar Nicholas. If you can go back to King Ferdinand VII, go learn about him, because he had a grotesque member. Talking about his penis. You know how what they say about Epstein, egg-shaped. Oh, this thing's like a cricket bat and egg-shaped. Just weird. I mean, I had to go through horrible things, healing and all this stuff, and having these repressive memories. I mean, I didn't know I knew that. That's why you go through this healing process, because it affects you greatly. People, what are you after? Material and greed and all this? It's because of trauma. You need healing. This bitterness and attacking each other and just acting chaotic. Are people aware? It doesn't make any sense to me. There's people out here doing what they can to help other people to heal. And you got all these other people. Rah! Chaos. Order out of chaos. Ordo ab chaos. No possible way, which I rebuke that crap, but no possible way that it would be witchcraft over the money. You need to be, this is very serious, you need to be healed in order to, you know what I'm saying, for it not to affect you. But it does need to be remade where it does not have that crap on it. All the little symbolism and everything. It's witchcraft. But you do need to have, complete healing, go through the ascension process, which I've been talking about in all these videos. Healing your chakras. Look it up. It's a thing called research, which helps your brain and your chakras to wake up spiritually. Okay? What everyone's missing if you don't know already. Right? I don't want to live in a country and have my children grow up in a country where people are like this. And this is not to talk about other places in the world, okay? Everyone needs healing, no matter where. No matter where it is. But we can start here. Okay? No more United States corporation. It's America. Corporation is, death. Do you understand the death spell that's put on everyone? Well, that's put everyone in, guess what? The underworld. And this is who, Samael wants to run and rule as hell. Does everyone want to stay there? Or do they want to ascend out of there? No more prison world. No more hell. This is, too much. For all this suffering to go on and people like enjoying it, I mean, really, if you Notice what people are watching in shows and movies and, all this sex stuff. Well, that's grooming. That is straight up grooming. Not only is it grooming, but it's also more siphoning. Okay? And that, like, when you have sex with someone, that literally braids you with them. So if they've got really bad juju on them, generational curses, who knows what else, then you're joined up with them. You need to heal from it. That's why they have creeps that molest. Okay? This is a time for people to heal, wake up, realize what the fuck is going on. Who is, just outright attacking each other? Y'all, that's witchcraft. It's black magic. I didn't know this stuff existed, but boy, have I found out. I've had them all, come after me. They're like insane and don't realize it. It is witchcraft, as in the black magic kind. Very dark, very evil. This sex death cult. You cannot tell me that there's not things going on that, say too much. People that were once, really big or filled out or whatever, and now they're like a skeleton. There's skeletons coming out of the closet. That's... It's saying things. I find it very sad. Because these people, look, these people do MK Ultra and take people over. They hack them. Okay? They definitely put it out into the airwaves. They do certain frequencies. They literally do direct energy weapon. I mean, this is something Tesla talked about if they got a hold of, that they would use it as a weapon. Wars everywhere. Yeah, it's so they can, sacrifice people to Satan, because that's what it's about. This makes no sense at all. Obviously, government doesn't work, but if we all heal and we have a heart, it's time to realize things, really open our eyes and see what's going on. It's really sad if you were to sit all the way back and just look at everything and look what everything's going on. It is literal chaos. All these TV shows, all these things, all this, that, and everything else. It's like, Big Brother everywhere. I mean, you could sit there all day and watch everything, but you're just a robot. The Walking Dead, the zombies, if you don't wake up. And that can be very dangerous. Reverse rapture is very real, meaning that people, aren't here anymore. They leave, and it's not in a positive manner. Okay, this is one of Kim Clement's prophecies. He had said about all the bodies. Go watch Hopi Prophecy Wall. Those that are like materialistic and greed and envy, that line, cuts off. It's short. And the other line, where they're not dealing with, all that greed and all that stuff, it goes on. That means that your soul goes to another place and is trapped there. And then it'll be like you're here, but you'll be there. But there's going to be monsters, like real monsters. I mean, this is going to be horrific. Exactly what these people did. They will go through so much. Many cycles in order for them to be broken of it. This is not a place you want to go. This is why you need to ascend now. There's like not a whole, I mean, there's time if you send, but this is to put us all on the same timeline. Okay, which means we're all there together. Okay, there are those that have already ascended first, but it's to help others. This is how this works. This isn't, how can I put this? You know, well, you're above me because you know this, and you know what I'm saying? No. Are we not all equal, made by the Creator? It's okay to have leaders, but you can't go against someone else's will. You have to remember that. If we've got people doing whatever the hell they want and attacking them, it's time to wake up and realize that these systems don't work at all. They are terroristic. It's an infiltration. It's an infiltration of insanity. Okay? Doing the same thing over and over again. But when you go through this healing and wake up, you realize you've been poisoned, maybe drugged, who knows, without it, completely without you knowing or wanting for that to happen, against your will. It's called MK Ultra. And these, CIA so-called operatives, just creeps. Poisoning, drugging people, stealing their identity, taking everything that they have. It's all been a system of it. Do you want that to come to you? No way can you see what the new order is going to be. They're going to eliminate all flesh off this world. I mean, if you're eating flesh of any kind, that is cannibalism. Okay? Yeah, I'm sure that's going to upset a lot of people, but why is it upsetting you? Why is it triggering you? Why do you feel the need to defend that? Defend killing for what? Adrenochrome, without you realizing that's kind of rather what it really is? Serial killers start with animals. Then they use that in order to try to control others. In order for them to not do anything, do what I tell you. Who thinks in their mind that they've got to control others? There's good words in the Bible. Yeah, because these people know how to plagiarize. They hear something from someone, that they energy vampire off of and write it down. These are wordsmiths because they steal energy. Okay? This is a time for things to change. This isn't a time to play around with people's lives. It's been like exponentially sped up. People, they're scamming people and doing all this stuff. Man, that shit's got to go. Repentance means to turn your back on it. Wake up to where you can at least read something in the Bible and know what is good and what is bad. Well, the Bible says you can kill these kind of animals, da-da-da. What is thou shalt not kill? What is basic instructions before leaving earth? No way were we all lied to by, the religious people. Well, religion is return to legion. Forgive ourselves for not knowing what we didn't know until we know it. But it's time to wake up. Who harms other people and animals you think that's all right? If you really sat down and thought about it. What happened when 9/11 happened? Everything stopped. I don't believe that everyone is like that, really wants to be that way and kill people. But that's money and greed. Money, greed, and envy is to go out and kill people, to kill animals, to do whatever you can do to get money. There are those that will do anything for money, and there are those that will not. The ones that won't do anything for money, they go after. This has been a nation run by nothing but bullies. And what are bullies? They're cowards. And they're called Illuminati. Alright, y'all. I pray that this wakes people up. That people turn to the real divine, not the demiurge, okay? And realize what the Illuminati and the Freemasons really are. Even if you're, one of them people that doesn't really know what's going on, it's time you wake up. What they really are. No matter where you are and what part of the world that you're in. Alright, I didn't mean to make this long, but I've said my piece. Alright, y'all. This is truly love for other people and animals and everything, and what are y'all doing? You either care and love or you don't. There's no faking that shit. It's time to get rid of the bitter hearts. It's just doing nothing but spreading chaos and death. And all these people want to do is go and screw everything because they've got sex demons, succubus and incubus. But they point at other people and say that about them so you don't look at them. That's, if you wake up and you go through all that, you'll start seeing people for who they really are. There are people that have been through horrible things and they see it. Then there are people who haven't been through it and say, no, that ain't true. Wake up. Wake up for your own healing. Wake up so that you don't go down in the pits of hell. All right, y'all. I pray y'all choose and choose right. I mean, this is not something everyone can keep fighting and go on in chaos. This is something that everyone's got to wake up to, see what's real, and make a choice. Because if you don't make one, you already have. This is where these ones have put demons on others. That's how they hack them. They know all these ways of doing it. Poisoning, drugging, grooming people with sex. Y'all, I'm going to be real honest. If you're showing like yourself, okay, the problem with that is it is grooming, but it's also how they siphon off of you. Okay? That's part of their black magic that they do is, like they have a picture and they, what I'm talking about. They have sex with themselves, looking at said picture or even video, whatever. This is why they do the things that they do. Because they're doing some black magic witchcraft stuff. And it does affect you. Drastically. Are you aware of what you're watching on TV? Is there something wrong with shutting the damn thing off and going outside and know the people around you instead of attacking them? Seeing who or what needs help, animals that need help. The money actually has, this black magic witchcraft, and there are those that have gone through so much healing and ascension, and it doesn't affect them. It's like blood money. It doesn't affect them. You know what I'm saying? But this can be done differently, to where we have money that's made without that witchcraft on it. And these systems and government's got to change. Everything's got to change. This needs to be only a system of helping people to heal. That's the kind of system we need. I mean, harsh words, yeah, but no one's waking up until you do. All right, y'all. I'm going to go. I really do pray you be blessed and that you wake up. All right. Love you guys.